There's a quiet kind of heaviness a lot of us carry. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, just a steady weight that says, stay the same. I feel like a lot of us know that weight too well. But here's what I want you to know today. You're allowed to loosen your grip, not abandon yourself, not pretend nothing matters. Just loosen the grip that keeps you fixed in one place. And I've been that person who clung to an old version of me too. The one who thought, if I change, does that mean I was wrong before? I get the fear. I still bump into it sometimes. But how can you step into a new chapter when both hands hold the last one? And that question sat with me for a while actually. And honestly, it kept me stuck longer than I wanted to admit. For example, some of you may have noticed your playlist hadn't changed in years. Same songs, same feelings, same memories of a person you didn't want to be anymore. And so, you may feel inclined to make a new playlist. Fresh tracks, fresh energy, and it's not so much about the music, so to speak. It's about the permission. Just a tiny shift, a tiny win. Sometimes letting go starts with a quiet swap. A new song, a new route, a fresh cup. How can you breathe differently if your chest never loosens, right? I caught myself telling the same story about who I am. Careful, predictable, stuck to what I'm good at. It sounded safe, but it also sounded like a room with no windows. It's like cleaning out an old shelf. Old notebooks with notes that no longer match where you're headed now. You keep one page as a keepsake, throw away the rest, and feel a weird sense of guilt and relief. It's more of a nudge than a makeover. So letting yourself go can be one shelf, not the whole room. I feel like we use loops to stay familiar too. The same thoughts, the same routes, the same lines we tell ourselves at 12 a.m. It's comforting until it isn't. We repeat, we rehearse, we relive. But how can you move if your inner narrator keeps hitting rewind? I had this quiet loop that said, don't try that, you'll look silly. It had evidence too, like old moments when I fumbled in front of people. It's about signing yourself up for something you know you'll suck at. It won't be great. You'll miss steps, but you'll smile anyway. Strangely, your body feels lighter after too. So the fastest way to break a loop is to do the opposite, gently. I'm not saying toss your responsibilities or ghost your life. I'm saying soften the edges of the rules you gave yourself years ago. Let a little air in. Let the new version of you try a seat at the table for once. It's about permission more than perfection. Permission to update. Permission to try. To be clumsy. To revise. Permission to surprise yourself. And I feel like a lot of us are waiting for an official stamp. Somebody to say, okay, you're allowed to be different now. But what if that person is you? What if the stamp is as small as a sticky note on your desk? Letting go sometimes sounds like you calmly choosing a new label for yourself. So where do you start without overwhelming yourself? Well, the first step for me was pretty small. I wrote one line I could believe in that I'd see every morning, saying, today, I'm willing to be new at one thing. That was it. No massive promises, just a gentle tilt in a direction I wanted to go. So here are some options you can use to shape your way. The first one is the loop swap. Catch one sentence you say on repeat. Maybe it's, oh, I always mess this up. And then swap it with a sentence that's true and generous, such as, I'm practicing this and practice looks imperfect. Say it out loud every time you doubt yourself. You're planting a new path next to the older one. And the second one is the one yes rule. You say yes to one small thing you usually brush off, whether it's a call, an activity with a friend, a different route home, Keep it safe in low stakes, because that kind of win is permission, not performance. And the third one is the one question pivot. The next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, what would the kinder version of me do next? And take that 1-minute step. Tiny kindness, yet real momentum. I also feel like we don't need huge courage. We need small courage, consistently, repeated. Like a drumbeat you can actually keep. I'm not saying you need to reinvent everything right now. I'm saying give yourself enough room to outgrow yesterday's outline. You can respect who you've been and still make edits. Both can be true. Think about journeys for a second. No one judges a traveler for changing direction when the road bends, right? So why judge yourself for adapting when you learn more about who you are? You're not late, you're not behind. You're simply adjusting your route as the map gets clearer. And yes, there will be days you miss the old loop, because it felt safe, predictable, and that's okay. It's okay to be nostalgic for comfort. Just don't confuse comfort with alignment. And I think the real shift happens when you stop asking, am I allowed to be different? And then start asking, what tiny step today would make me a little more honest to myself? Not the perfect step, but the honest one. You know, sometimes the door you've been staring at only opens after an ugly key turn. So letting yourself go doesn't mean ignoring your responsible schedule. It means choosing one corner of your day to belong to you. 5 minutes counts, 2 minutes counts. Place consistency over intensity every time. And at the end of the day, ask yourself if you gave one moment of newness for yourself. And tomorrow, make the moment smaller, easier. Lower the bar until you can step over it without thinking. I feel like we also need gentleness when we backslide. Because old loops, they're persuasive. So if you can catch yourself in one, don't turn it into a big deal. Turn it into a conversation. Like, oh, right, we're doing that thing again. Let's try that one question pivot. So letting yourself go is not losing yourself. It's trusting that there's more of you to find. It's the difference between gripping and holding, between resisting and receiving, between being a statue and being a traveler. And if you're wondering whether you're ready, remember, readiness is often what shows up after you start. You begin awkwardly, then your legs remember the rhythm, then your voice finds a tone that fits, and then your reflection looks a touch more like the person you feel inside. So it's okay to not have a solid definition right now. It's okay to be a draft. Most beautiful things go through many versions. So do we. So pause and be proud for showing up for yourself today. We're not at the end. We're at the bend in the road where you get to turn the wheel a little. You're allowed to loosen the grip and see what opens. You're allowed to try again tomorrow. You're allowed to be new. And if you do one small thing today, like decluttering one shelf of your life, that's still movement. That's the journey continuing. So thank you for spending this time with me. You could be anywhere right now, but you chose this space. So I'm grateful for you. I'm cheering for you quietly, but consistently, from right here. Take good care of yourself. Peace.